A question that I got recently was, I'm a hard case newbie. I have not had sex with a girl. I'm out there trying to get myself a girlfriend. And should I get a prostitute for reference experience, and will that help me out long term? That's the question that I received recently. But before we kick it off, I'm Dave, and this channel is dedicated to giving you no BS, novel dating advice for the modern man. Top link in the description to get some coaching with me. I do phone conversation coaching anywhere in the world if you are not in person, and obviously in person as well. So, should you use or go to a prostitute for experience? And this is actually more common of a question than you might think. There are quite a lot of guys out there that have focused more on their career, or they just haven't. They just went straight into a highly demanding job, or they went straight into study, and they never really organically. They were never really lucky in high school or in university. And they kind of struggled. And it got to the point where there's no results. There's no results at all, and they don't have any experience when it comes to taking a girl home and having sex with her. So the question is a tricky one, and I want to simplify it. Sure, you will get experience by paying a prostitute, but what that does is, in your mind, it makes sex more of a transactional thing. And so I would argue that getting yourself a prostitute is across the board a bad idea. I have seen quite a few guys that have done this, and what they do tend to see is, or see women as more of a transactional thing. So you'll see them more likely to simp over porn. They're more likely to pump more money into, say, online apps. When they take girls out on dates, they're more likely to pay more money and spend more money because they see it more of a transaction. And so if they struggled with women, they never really got any success in the early stages. Next thing you know, they decide, okay, well, the only way I can get experience right now is by going to a prostitute. You pay that prostitute money and have sex with them, and internally you see that as a transaction, and that is the worst mindset to have. You should be looking at it like she gets a lot out of it. If she's having sex with you, it is a mutually beneficial thing. Women like sex as well. Women in fact love sex, and so to see it as something that is purely transactional, just for reference experience, that might stay with you longer than you might care to admit. One. And two, the other aspect of it is that when you are paying someone to sleep with you, they don't really want to do it. You need to think about it. Okay, so if you met her in the street, would she sleep with you if there was no money involved? Okay? And so what you're doing is you're getting a false idea or a false reference experience of what sex is. It's false. It's fake. Because the girl is not choosing to do it. She's only choosing to do it because you're paying her. And that is quite possibly the worst way to go about it. Then when you think about it on a macro sense, you scale that up. The type of men that pay for prostitutes, they're also more likely to pay for OnlyFans. They're more likely to be giving girls follows on social media that they don't deserve, and following girls and liking and commenting, and giving girls a lot more clout on social media, paying for their digital, whatever products, with them running around in a bikini, and you become part of that simp large percentage of society that is really giving a lot of people money purely based on them being born and looking pretty, which is, it's not a meritocracy at that stage, and on a macro level it actually damages society, because we really need money to go through to people who are competent and earn their place in society. It's a serious problem, I think, and I went a little bit further, but for you as well, there's two major things. It becomes a transactional thing, and then you become arguably a bit more of a simp because of that. Yeah, these two things are connected. And thirdly, it's bad for society. So what would be a solution? Now, solution, in my opinion, if you are, who knows, you might even be an average looking guy, you might even be a good looking guy, but you just haven't got any success, you focus on your career too much, and just the experience of meeting a girl that's attracted to you and taking her home is something that you haven't really experienced. So I would argue that the best way, instead of spending hundreds or thousands of dollars on prostitutes for that experience, I would argue that picking an easier country to game in and going and gaming there, arguably a third world country, and finding a girl that actually wants to sleep with you for you. And also, another way to go about it would be to do a boot camp, say with me or any of the other coaches out there in the world, picking a third world country and gaming, meeting a girl in real life, cold approach, running through the process from hello on easy level in a third world country. And also you'll be, from a first world country, you're going to bring that status with you. So they're more likely to go, okay, this is a higher status male. You know, you might be different too. You might have a few more advantages than the local men. And so therefore your cold approach is more likely to work. So going over there, cold approaching from hello all the way through to getting the number, through to the date, through to pulling back to your place and then trying to lock her in as a regular, and then maybe even locking her in as a girlfriend. You could probably go through this entire process real fast in some countries, and it would happen far more rapidly if you were to hire a coach, which is pretty much a wingman to go with you, sit over your shoulder and literally like be pushing you and making sure that you run through the right actions. Then you've got the structure down pat in an easier situation. You at least seen it, you got the reference experience, you got that, it's in your mind. You're also sleeping with a girl that actually wants to sleep with you for you, and you don't see it as a transaction. So you see women the way they should be seen is when you date them, it's mutually beneficial. When you sleep with them, it's mutually beneficial. And then you take that experience back to the heart of first world country, and you at least know you have the experience. It's not like you're walking down a dark alleyway and you can't see the road. You at least have a road map in your mind on how it should be played. And I would argue that that is a far more healthier and far better way for you to get the experience to at least, you know, if you are struggling with women or you are a virgin that is struggling as well, then paying for prostitution. I would argue that prostitution is probably the worst way. Myself, I have never paid for a prostitute. I've never paid even for a massage, like a sexual massage. And I've never paid for even a stripper. I've never done any of those things because I see that it makes me feel dirty. It feels like I'm paying for something that I can find over here with a girl that is actually attracted to me in a healthier way. And I feel that that is far better. And hopefully that makes sense to you guys. And if you're in that situation, my hack really is go to a country where it's easier for you to get laid, run through the process properly, get that reference experience, and if you need to, get a coach. Simple. Simple. Go on a nice holiday and run through it and make it fun. It would be fun too. And I would love to do it. So if you want to do that, hit me up. Top link in the description. Pick out a country and I would love to go with you. I'll see you guys in the next video.